feet too much when they're not supposed to, or they don't need to, and not enough when they need to. So what we're doing, if our goal is to hit that ball and our target is each other, then we don't have to move the feet. And the reason that becomes important is because later on, if you only move your feet every time you hit the volley, you're going to get in trouble, because if that person nails a ball at you and you're trying to move your feet at the same time to try to get in position, you got too much movement going, you're going to make the shot more difficult for yourself. Now, does that mean that I'm saying never move your feet? No. Just in this particular instance where your goal is to hit it to each other. Okay, so what I'm looking for when you can't move your feet, I'm looking for the maneuverability and the flexibility of the racket face when you're hitting that ball. And we know that's important, don't we? Why? Because what's the single most important aspect of a successful shot? I'm really getting you today, aren't I, Parker? No, you be quiet. That's all right. Take your time. Take a deep breath. Single most important, okay, start off again. Single most important aspect of a successful shot in relation to the ball at the point of contact. Absolutely. Good. Okay, do you agree? Okay, and that becomes important because what I want you to do, although the footwork is important, I want you to realize that the most important thing is where that racket face is facing at the point of contact. So if you're falling down, if you're falling flat on your face and you're lunging for a ball, or you're reaching up high, you always think, I want your brain on the racket strings, so that you're always thinking about what target you're aiming at, because that's where the ball is going to go. It's not that the footwork is not important, it's that this is more important, so I'm asking you to do that. I want you to do one other thing, Hunter, and I'm going to ask you this on that. I want you to give me a little bit more undercut on the volleys, a little bit more what I call bite on the shot. Why?
Because it gives, if you're playing against someone, the ball doesn't bounce as high, it kind of skids.
Okay, it gives you a lower bounce,
and
number one.
It gives them less time?
Well, not necessarily less time, but it throws them off. It takes it out of their strike zone a little bit more. What else does it do?
And
That's one thing.
It keeps it, like, if you just have a straight, it'll kind of lob up, and
it gives you more height over the net because you're getting that reversed effect on the ball. With the undercut, the ball is kicking up. So if I'm trying to get that ball high enough over the net so I don't hit the first obstacle, which is the net, then I have to make sure that I'm getting that little bit of undercut, particularly on the low ball, but not just on the low ball. That's two things it does. Can you give me another one, Parker? Another benefit.
It gives a little backspin, so if they stand right here, it'll backspin and they hit.
Okay, but I'm only going to give credit on that one time because that was sort of the same thing that Hunter was saying too. It gives you a different bounce. It'll give you the bounce coming forward, it'll give you the bounce lower. Can you give me anything else? Tough one. Hunter, can you give me another one?
I know it, but...
Oh, I know you don't know it. Unless you can talk to me about it, you do not know it, okay? Unless you can retrieve it at any time that you want, you do not know it, okay? You have an idea about it, but you don't know it, okay? Now, it allows you to take pace off the ball. When a person nails a ball at me, if I hold that racket rigidly and hold it flat, I'm going to get the same amount of pace minus friction coming off that racket that came into the ball. Well, I don't need that. Sometimes if I want a little bit of an angle or a short ball or a floater deep and high, I need to be able to take that undercut and hit that ball on that shot.
Like, I think I told you this, but I haven't, like, I remember I saw Djokovic at the net, and the guy tried to pass him, and he did that, and he did a drop shot.
So he was able to take the pace off the ball. That's right. And as hard as these guys hit the ball today, that's very important. So what I want to see with you, Parker, is I want to see, let's get rid of the right hand a little bit more, and let's make sure that we're getting a little bit of undercut. And you're not giving me the undercut either. Give me and I call it bite. It's what I call squeeze and freeze. Watch, when I hit the volley, I'm actually going to be a little bit looser with the racket, and when I grip it, then I squeeze and freeze, and that gives me that little bit of bite on that shot that gives me the backspin, gets that ball kicking up a little bit higher. Okay, let's try it. Come on. one. Now, it's tougher when you do that a little bit of undercut. Now, watch this. When I do the undercut, I'm not going to move that racket face more than the width of the racket. If I move it more than the width of the racket, then I have a chance of shanking that ball. But if I just, and that's what I'm saying, if I squeeze and freeze and stop it there, that racket hasn't moved more than the width of the racket, so even if I miss time or miss hit it, I'm still going to make the shot.